So we going on to the discussion. We ready for that?
Oh yeah.
It's a good one. It's a meaty one. It's one to dig your teeth into. Are you ready? I'm glad that we haven't got more numbers in truth, because I think we could be here all day with this. So let's see where we land. All right. So the first question is, do you think it's important to be in a loving relationship to live a fulfilling life? Who's going in first? Cynthonia?
So I feel like, excuse me, yes, as far as relationship, but it depends on how you define like relationship. I do not believe that every person needs to be in a romantic relationship in order to have a fulfilling life. I believe that some people's lives don't call for it. You know what I'm saying? But as overall, like as far as like relationships, I believe every person needs to have a loving like relationship or something to nurture them or tell them. It doesn't have to be, like I said in my poem, it could be your grandmother, it could be a best friend, like somebody that waters you, or you know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like you need to have somebody to lay beside you at nighttime in order to have a fulfilling life. That's my idea. Some people are like nuns. If they feel like that's their life and they really believe that in their heart, they believe that they're on their mission. They're living their fulfilled life and they're happy and they're this and the third. Once you're happy within yourself and you feel like you're walking in your truth, you're living your fulfilled life. I can't tell you what's fulfilling to your life. If I believe that, I would like that, you know? So that's what I believe.
Nice. Thank you very much. Emmanuel?
I thought about the nun part too, because it's like the connection with the Most High that has them fulfilled. It's a really good question. I just want to make sure I have it right. You say, do you think it's important to be is it romantic relationship or just relationship period?
Yeah,
in a romantic relationship to have a fulfilling life. So there's that saying, right? It's better to have loved than lost to not have loved at all. So that's what I'm also thinking about too, right? So have you never experienced a romantic relationship, or is it like I tried that and I'm done with that? I'm gonna go on about it, because I ultimately think that just from my experiences, having those relationships have made life that much better, right? Even the ups and downs throughout it, like this pieces I shared, that full spectrum of love is something that, is fulfilling to me, but I don't think it's a requirement to have a fulfilled life.
Thank you very much.
I agree. I feel like the relationship is the added bonus, right? Like if you are on your chosen path and living it uh, in your most authentic self, that type of energy, whatever that looks like, whether romantic or platonic, kind of gravitates toward you. So no, not necessarily. You don't need that. Some people, again, don't crave that. But I mean, it is that added bonus that, picturing yourself growing old with someone or something like that. You know, in my opinion, yes, that's can be the goal for some people, but it shouldn't be the goal for everyone unless you're called to it.
Thank you, Adriana. Gabriel?
Yeah, I feel basically what they're saying too. At first, I was gonna say like from where my perspective was, yeah, because you know you always need some support outside of like your blood family and things of that nature. Now that hearing like what everybody else is saying, it's like honestly, it's not needed. It just makes it better when you can connect with somebody that's similar to you or has difference to you. You can grow with outside of somebody you've known your whole life. Um, but really, I guess the true fulfillment is really knowing yourself. Because like when you got your self fulfillment, then your love is truly gonna come. But if you're chasing the love from ahead, then you're not really chasing a love that you know, but a love that has been put on you by somebody else, and that might not be the way you loved. Um, like not trying to go too deep and personal, but going the aspect of where I'm at right now in my life, I'm kind of like I feel like I've chased love, and it's not a real identity of love of what I thought it would be because I don't really know myself too deeply right now. So it's like an aspect of, I'm searching for a certain type of love that I've seen, but not a certain type of love that I know. In an instance, that's not the.
Yeah, I'm with you, Gabriel. Sorry, go on, Cynthonia.
This is just to Gabriel real quick. Sidebar, like, but you're so blessed. I'm so grateful for you in the universe because you're young enough to be so conscious and to be so humble to understand yourself and to be able to analyze and to evaluate and understand yourself to that capacity, and then to be open and honest with it. You're gonna grow so well and so nicely and so beautifully. You're gonna bring a lot to the world, and you're gonna get a lot of good things. So I just
Appreciate it.
good things to you.
Yeah, you're our little brother in here. You're just so sweet. You can't not like you. How could you not like you? Like, you'd have to be mad. Like, gone. And I think I relate to what you said because for me, I think what Emmanuel said about having appreciation for every relationship. I think that's where I'm at now. I don't think I've always been that way. I think my own personal experience was my first relationship was, I think, the only one where I felt like I was loved genuinely for me. And then I think whatever I thought and manifested, then it just felt like this toxic whirlwind of just back to back, not good enough. So I think being able to do that growth and be in the place I'm in now, I absolutely don't think you need to be in a fulfilling relationship to be happy because I'm in such a great place and I know that I can be happy by myself and I know what going into wrong situations looks and feels like, and I'd rather be by myself than do that. But in terms of an ideal, I think it's natural and beautiful to want partnership. And there's something that you get from that loving partnership that you can't get it out of any other relationship. You can't get it from your children. You can't get it from your friends, and I look forward to if it's granted to me because I'm happy to be by myself for the rest of my life. But I do look forward to that kind of, partners, as they say in crime, but I'll say partners in life, where you've got that one person that you can fully trust and lean on and they can lean on you. And that's a beautiful thing. And I think everybody deserves to have that, really. Anybody else want to add anything to this question? All right. So what are the attributes that are essential for you? We'll start off with in a partner, and then we'll go on to that you feel you need to have to be a great partner.
For me, honesty is paramount. Uh, Transparency, accountability, kindness, a willingness to be on your journey. I know everybody's in different spaces, but at the very least, be working on yourself. Um, in general, being open-minded and not so judgy. Like there's a bit too much of that, and truthfully, no one on this planet has any room to judge. Um, Physical attributes are something different. But I mean, for me personally, please have read a book. Please have some knowledge of the 90s because I'm obsessed and that's my time period, just for me. And be a thrill seeker, man. I love to have fun. I'm 36, but I'm very much so a child at heart. So that's definitely something important to me. And a sense of humor. Please be able to laugh. Laugh cures so much, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Emmanuel, what you thinking? What qualities are important for you in a life partner?
Somebody that's understanding, right? Patient, kind. Definitely has to have, like Adriana said, a sense of humor. And I don't know if it's much more than that. Like someone that's patient, kind, sense of humor. It's the thing that I'm thinking about. I don't know if nurturing is the word. Something in that vein, right? But I'm not looking for a mother in that way, if you understand what I'm saying. But yeah, maybe I'll have to circle back to that one. And then on the other side for myself, what I'm bringing is that understanding, that patience as well, and authenticity overall, for sure. Like, and I think that goes hand in hand with honesty, because when you're being your authentic self, there's nothing that you have to feel that you have to hold back or lie about.
Yeah, it's deep when you kind of realize in your own self and from observing others what being inauthentic can create, the kind of internal turmoil, how freeing it is to really just 100% be yourself. And I think this society can make people just be inauthentic because there's so much kind of forced upon us in terms of image and stuff. But yeah, thank you, Emmanuel. Adriana, on that note, then, I do like the way, actually, it's nice to hear both sides. So, what would you like to bring to the table?
The exact same. I mean, for me, like interestingly enough, the reason why I chose to do the piece I did from when I was 25 is because of the mentality that I was at. I was very much so people pleasing and wanting to be like a chameleon and fit into a certain box of what I thought love was or to like someone was. So again, to be my authentic, honest self, to give you 100% from the beginning. I think that's something else that is lost in a lot of situations. Obviously, I don't need to give you my life story on first date, but uh, get to know me as me from jump. I think a lot of people tend to keep themselves behind a curtain. So that is most important. Honesty, accountability, the willingness to be yourself, be fun off top, and share your quirks, truthfully. So that's what I would do. Um, I think it makes things easier too. Like if you know what you're getting into from the jump, if it's not for you or if something doesn't mesh well with you, isn't it easier to know that by say date number 3 as opposed to you're 6 months into a relationship and you're like, who are you? You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that go through that.
Oh
And I'm just
yeah.
not trying to be one of them. I've been that and that ship has sailed. I'm a lot like you, Caroline, in that way that I'm at a stage in my life where I know exactly what it is that I want. And if it's not that, I'm cool.
Isn't that a nice feeling, though? Isn't that a great feeling?
It's very freeing for sure.
I want to ask a question to that though. And I know that me and Gabe haven't answered, but just because I don't want to lose that question, so you wouldn't. So, cause if you have an idea of exactly what you want, and if it's not that, then you're good. There's no bending. There's no gray area. There's no nothing. Cause
Oh
some
no,
like you
there-
have your idea of exactly this picture perfect person, and the universe has something different in mind, but that thing that's not what you expected might bring you so much more than what you initially wanted to begin with, or it might change your perspective on something. So like, how rigid are you in what you really what you want?
Great
But
question.
but you
I'm
we,
not.
we I just wanted to ask that question to hold on to it because I just wanted to get it out. Cause I don't want to interrupt the flow, but I just wanted you guys to hear the question so that you guys can answer.
I'll answer that question. It's a banging question. I want to hear, and I'll answer it as well. And whoever else wants to answer it.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I got an answer. Like you, it's a great point based on the way I said what I said.
yeah, because that's what
I'm
made me
not.
ask. Wait a minute.
I'm not rigid in that way at all. Like my personality is very much so open-minded and open to new things. I meant more so for myself. Like if I present to you that I'm into this sort of spirituality, but I'm not really into religion, and you know what I'm saying, think about devil worshiper type thing, you know what I'm saying, that sort of thing. Like I'm cool. Like I'm not. It's not for me to impress upon you all of the
I get you.
research and all of the, you know what I mean, all of those sort of things. Or on the opposite side of the spectrum, if you don't understand why I like going on hikes and like sitting outside and just meditating and breathing, and you think it's weird, like that sort of thing,
No,
I'm
100%.
cool.
Yeah. Yep.
But if you are, say, if you like anime and I'm just not really into that, I mean, school me on it. You know what I mean? Like at least at the very least, I can appreciate you for who you are. I'm not rigid in that way. But
Mhm.
if there's just something that you are basically going to judge me for because I'm being my authentic self,
No, but
that's what I'm cool on.
I mean, like in a sense, like okay, but I get that point, but like in a sense, like you want somebody who, oh, I want somebody who is motivated, who knows what they want, who is kind and who's empathetic and who blah blah blah, right? And then well, you somebody who's good looking. I want them to be like at least a 7, 8 out of 10, blah blah blah, right? Works out. But there's somebody who comes along or whatever and say they got a little acne, and you know what I'm saying? And like you could tell they work out, but they probably don't eat all of that good. So you could tell that they need help, like in motivation to eat right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like certain things like that. Like you could tell like they have potential to be motivated, but they probably have like that type of thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what I mean. Like not so much on a superficial, on a flat, do you get what I'm saying? Am I
Yeah,
actually
I get what
on a
you're
grow, are
saying.
you willing to grow with a person? I think
all
is the
right,
question.
cool.
Like
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. If you're literally trying and you're 100% transparent, I think that's fair. If that's something that interests you. There are certain people that aren't going to be willing to do that. Like I'm not going to be a mother to you straight up, but I'm a very nurturing person in general, and I have a soft spot for fixer uppers because I am one. So you know
Mm.
what I'm saying? Like I wasn't always here. I had to get here. I had help getting here. I had people who constantly helped me course correct. So absolutely, like if you like say you got your workout routine down pat, but you're eating processed food, I'm going to show you the label and show you why it's crap. You know what I mean? I'm that person. But again, that's something that the other person needs to be open to. So if they're open to that and willing to grow and willing to teach me something, like shoot, I'm a student of life. So as much as I'm willing to teach, I'm willing to be taught. I think that's important too. Absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
no, I'm very much like water when it comes to that. It's other people that are very rigid and very stuck in their ways, and it's toxic to me,
You
in
know,
my
that's
opinion.
that's a great point that you brought up, Tone. And Adriana, I don't know if people are as rigid. I am reading this book again by Malcolm Gladwell called Blink. And he's in the book, there's a part where they talk about speed dating, right? And people going into the dates talking about they have a certain type. And you
Mhm.
would think that people would choose their type, right? But then they get on these dates and people are not, but there's a connection there. So oftentimes we have in our mind what we think is gonna be the type of person that we want to be. Like me, for instance, if she's natural. Oh, if we're talking about eating raw plant-based diet, but somebody could be the polar opposite, right? And we have a connection more times that's going to lead to somewhere. So I was just bringing that up because it's something that stood out to me. And a lot of times we think in our minds we have a type, but then we don't always choose that type when there's an authentic connection with a significant other that we're choosing.
I would say it's better to not have a type, to be open-minded, as long as you have certain standards for yourself and for what attributes maybe a partnership you would hope would have. But otherwise, be open-minded to who the person is.
True
Yeah,
indeed.
I agree with definitely what she said, being open minded, because it's like, I mean, you can set some standards or like some or like what you think you want, but it's never gonna turn out that way. It's always the unexpected that draws closest to you, whether it's friends, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job. Like it's always when you set an expectation, you're gonna be obviously require yourself to meet that expectation, and then if you don't meet it, then it's like you failed or you did something wrong. But if you leave it open, then it's like, okay, now I got options. Now let's just flow with it. Let's connection. Where's the strongest connection at? Where can I build at? And it's also like if you know yourself and you build that stronger connection, now you start to see within yourself what do you need work on, or like just in those little crevices, or like what can I provide to them? What can they provide to me? Or like if it is a really connection or not. I like that.
Yeah, I think my take on it is it's kind of like the love languages thing. And if your love languages don't match, it's about the qualities and the compatibility. And I think that personally for myself, I know I'm gonna know. I know the Most High will show me. It's not gonna be a question, but it's like my love language. I think Adriana, you said something similar, but my love language is to nurture. So if I'm with somebody that doesn't want that, we're gonna have a problem. Do you know what I mean? Because I want to cook food for you, and then they go, "Oh, you're the best woman in." I want that. I don't want to give you a plate of food and it don't mean anything. Do you know what I mean? Because I've put my love into that food. So you need to, whoever I'm with needs to like that. They need to like being nurtured, and if they repel that, it's not going to work. So it's the qualities and the love language, and I think it's thinking about. Bottom line for me is how I know I'll be able to tell as well. I say it a lot in my poetry, but is that feeling of time flying, and I think that happens with connections. Full stop. Because that happens with us. That happens like if me and you, Cynthonia, are on a call, we can talk for hours, and it's like 4 hours later, it's like, whoa, what's happening? So for me, compatibility in a relationship, if I can sit with them and 5 hours feels like 5 minutes, that's a sure fire sign.
Excellent point.
All right. So Gabriel, what attributes, qualities in a partner for you that you require and that you feel you need to give?
That I require, I would say for me, it's really a communicator. I like people who talk, just like uh whether it's intellectually, whether it's about issues, problems, whether it's about just a random topic and you just want to sit and chat. That's me. I'm a question asker, so I like to get down to the nitty gritty and just ask questions, random questions like, what would you do if you was in space? What would you do if you trapped in space? That's just me. I like to communicate. Then there's also kind of the aspect of like a helpmate. At least right now, this is me right now. Like a helpmate, somebody, because like me right now, kind of like in an unconfident space because I don't really know myself 100%. So it's in a way of like, if you know I'm not really good at this or something like that in that nature, then and you are, it's like instead of, why aren't you good at this? Why aren't you doing that? Expecting me to already know that, but like, hey, I see you're struggling with this. Let's, set up something so you can be able to, learn it better. And now if I keep making a mistake and not like I'm not trying, then obviously you can go on your way and, get on to me about it. But in a way of actually like, let me help you put your hands in this while my hands are in it so I can show you how to do it and you get on your roll. So like the helpmate, somebody that's like adventurous. So I'm just an open book. I don't really like one specific thing. I like video games, I like anime, I like going on hikes, I like the stars, I like nature, I like painting, creative. Like I like everything basically. I like to try to do everything. So any somebody that wants to be adventurous, to do stuff, honest. And really, there's really it. Just somebody that likes the vibe, like that's like that can go with the flow. I don't know, because it's like not all days it's gonna be sunshines and rainbows, but it's somebody that I can talk with, probably lift up the spirits, or somebody I can just chill with, mellow out, and just that. And qualities that I feel like I have to give, I would say honesty. That's uh kind of a place I've been struggling at, sadly. Um, being my authentic self, because there being times where it's like I feel like I'm being my authentic self, but I'm really kind of conforming to my situation and my environment, projecting what I feel like you want me to project. So it's like I'm not having a backbone, I'm not saying what I want to say, I'm not doing what I like to do, I'm doing what caters to you and what makes the mood feel better rather than, what I like. Um, and really more of a masculine energy of being able to get things done, I would say, of, planning things, doing my research on things, being ahead, like kind of forward thinking, I would say, is real good qualities that I feel like I need to bring.
Cool, thank you very much. I mean, you sound to me like a very creative soul, and the things that you like and the attributes you're looking for look like somebody else that's creative. Because sometimes as well, what I've learned in my lifetime is that, we think I've had this thought coming up a lot lately that I used to be arrogant enough to think everybody thinks the way that I do. And it's only as I've got older that I've really realized how different people think as a result of their own chemistry, but also the socialization and the upbringing and the blah, blah, blah. So, you'd be amazed at how many people that's not stuff that they like to do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They don't want to go for walks. They don't want to look at the stars. Some people are happy to sit inside and play chess or, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say one more is like really somebody that's like open-minded, I would say. Because it's like, you cannot like something I do. Like, I watch anime and stuff like that, how Adriana said. Like, kind of how Adriana said, like, if somebody's good on anime, she don't watch it, school her on it, teach her about it. Be open about it. Don't be like the person that's like, ugh, you watch anime? Weird. Like, I love being called weird. Don't get me
Weird.
wrong. You call me weird, and I'm like, thank you. Like, I'm one of a kind. So, like, it's not gonna hurt me, but it's like when you feel that it's used in a way that's like, you're weird. Like, you can just feel it. Like, you're trying to be ugh about it. It's like, well, damn, now it makes me not want to watch this. Now it makes me not want to do that, even though I like to do that. That's like somebody that's more encouraging in differences, like willing to learn. And if you don't like it, it's not for you. Don't judge me about it. Don't try to put me down because I like that. You know what I'm saying? Now you can joke about it and be like, you're a little weed, you a little geek. Like you can joke with me about it, but don't really try to, aim at me and take a piece off of me because of it.
It also seems like to be so young, you're super philosophical. You're a critical thinker. Uh, and I think that's something that you were describing and looking for in a partner as well. And I think that's super key and important actually to go along with the open mindedness. Like so a question as simple as what would you do if you went to space could go in like 20 different directions. You know what I mean? But that's interesting conversation. You don't want to talk about who was fighting on Shaver. I think that's
You're
key.
mad.
To be so young, bro, to have that mindset and be so young, I think you need to give yourself more credit for how far you have evolved. You know what I mean? And you have so much further to go. You haven't even fully developed yet mentally. You don't until you're 25. So to be here at this point at 23, I think you said you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, be very proud of that. And also I think that's a major key in general in any relationship. Please be a critical thinker. Be open to the conversations that may seem weird, but can take you to places that really make you think and open your mind up to different things. I think that's dope. That's really cool.
I like that you said that, Adriana. And you know something else that I want to ask, because it was a part of what Gabe was saying. He brought up wanting to be, what's it, like something along the lines of being assertive?
Being more masculine, where it's like I'm planning more. Oh wait, was it forward thinking? I think I'm. Wait, did I say? Was that kind of what you were trying to say? Like,
It was along the lines of that, and I'm thinking like, we got women on here with us. What is something that y'all could give us to take and go out when we're building relationships to add to? Because we don't want to go at it and think like it was a part about pleasing. So that's what made me think about assertive, right? When are times that we're in relationships and it starts to get to a place where y'all are women, rather, not just y'all per se, because I don't know if y'all do this in relationships. You start to get demanding. Is it expected for us to try to meet those demands, or do y'all want us to push back and be like, you know what, now I'm putting my foot down on this? You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'd like to hear what y'all would say about that.
That is such a good question, Emmanuel. Oh, Emmanuel, we could be here all day with this, but that is a brilliant question. Go on, Cynthonia, and I'll add my bit in a minute.
You know, well, listen, I could because there's levels to this. There's levels to this.
Yeah.
You got to know when you have to have boundaries to anything, right? There's boundaries to anything. So like you have to know when you're being taken advantage of, does the person deserve it at that point? What are they asking for? You know what I'm saying? Like, have they ever given you anything? Because there's a difference between being a provider and then being a simp, being somebody who is a vic, somebody who is just being used. Because once you just give with no boundaries, no nothing, you're now the giver. I can go over here and get something else I need from over here. I can get maybe affection, or I could get attention from over here. I already got you. You're the giver. You're going to give me what I want. You good. But there's no boundaries here. I could just get whatever. But if you're saying like, all right, you want your hair done, we're in a relationship, not a problem, whatever. We beef, everything's good. We're not, whatever. Like, that's not a problem. Next week, you want your hair done and you want this purse. This purse goes $1,200. All right, like, what are we doing here? Like, what are you bringing to the table? Why are you getting a $1,200 purse? Now we're adding on more stuff. You could tell when somebody is starting to take advantage of when they see you as a Vic. You could clearly tell whenever they see you, ask for something. Every time they ask you for something, or you got this, you gave them this now, so now the things they're asking for are getting more and more elaborate. No, they're looking at you a certain type of way. That's my take on it, because even though I'm in a relationship, like even though I be in a relationship with women, it's the same thing. It's because the same way like men could do it to females too, but women just have it's just a notoriety that women do it. Men do it too.
Yeah, I can imagine that to be so.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people are gonna do what you allow them to do to you, but the respect gets lost when somebody sees that there's no boundaries. There's always a lack of respect for somebody who doesn't have boundaries, period. That's in my world, my universe.
And once the respect is gone, is there any coming back from that?
Nope. Oh, I see now. Yes, depending on the person. see, in my world, in my universe, me as an individual, in my world, yeah, you could. Because once you as an individual change your paradigm, and you change who you are in that regards, you're a different person. So you're moving differently. You're not the same person that I was able to take advantage of before. However, it may have changed. Now, I stuck around long enough for you to go through that change. Now you're a different person in that regard. You're not allowing me to take those. You might even actually get a little bit more respect from me, that you actually made that change. You peeped the weakness, you made the change, and then you came back stronger and you standing on it. You might get a little bit more respect from me. But that's in my universe.
I think for me, you know, it's always one thing that's really clear with us is the societal differences, but also you can't generalize. That's what I've really learned about meeting regularly and communing with you guys in the States, is that it's such a big, there's so much diversity within the States, and then you over here there's things are just different, and then it's about who you are and your family and all that. So I think it's like I'm thinking about what Emmanuel said, you know, for women. And I just think, just like I said before, I can't speak for the UK. I don't think I can speak for women. I can only speak for myself. Because like what Cynthonia just said there, if I lose respect for you, it's never going to come back. It's never going to come back. Because it takes a lot for me to lose respect. You know, you got to push and push and push and push and push for that respect from me to go. So if I lose respect, it's not coming back. Not respect, not like or love, respect. Respect you can't regain with me. And I think that for me, it's just about, I struggle with all these kind of generalizations around relationships. And like I said, it's the evolved version of me that I am now. It's just very simple. And it's just about respect and a give and take in the same way that I do with my friendships. There's no stickiness or difficulty. Like, it's communication. So I have a high expectation that whoever I'm going to be with in the future is going to communicate with me. So if I'm doing something and they're like, nah, Caroline, that's out of order, that's a step too far, or you're messing with my boundaries, I want to hear that, you know. And then I know where I move, and that I do the same. Because I think in past relationships, there's been a lot of not saying anything. And then there's that kind of role playing as well. Role playing what a masculine is and role playing what a feminine is. But I am my version of femininity. And my version of femininity isn't everybody's version of femininity. You know, I'm somebody that, you know, I can be quite boisterous. I like to do wushu. I like to do fight training. I like to, you know, do things that are boisterous activities, but I also like to do very feminine things like sit and sew and cook and give somebody a massage and wash hair and plait hair, you know. So my version of femininity, there's other women that can't do them things, but they wear bodycon dresses and high heels and they're fully done up, and that's a version of femininity, you know. So I think my answer to your question, Emmanuel, is just be honest. It is. A man has to, as they say, stand on business for me. I can't. If you're flip floppy as a man, that's it. It's not. You're feminine. Yeah. A man needs to know what he's thinking and have firm ideas. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to ask you something one day and tomorrow you say something else. And if you've changed your opinion, you got to be able to back it with good reasoning. You know.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah, I do too. I really do like that. I like that part. I feel like in a sense that might be where a part I feel like I'm struggling at is like sticking with an option, being decisive, which is, you know, it's a heavy masculine trait to be very decisive. And I feel like in some instances I'm not because, you know, when I said I don't really know myself, I'm really kind of slightly inconfident about myself. So I feel like that's where the decisiveness, the indecision comes in. And it's like sometimes it makes me feel like I'm not masculine enough to, choose this decision and stand on it and like know that's what I want. So I like that you said that.
I had a conversation with someone the other day where we established that, we were saying, and she's a lot like me, this individual, we like men to lead, but that's how you can end up being controlled, is when it's toxic, because you try and let them lead and then they see that they can manipulate that and then take that into a controlling position, but I think intuitively women love to be led by a man, and I have that experience like with my brother. If we're going out, I don't do anything. We're going here, he pays, we're meeting at this time, Kaz, we're going to this restaurant. If I do that whole pretend thing that I'm gonna pay, but it's pretend. I'm like, ooh, I get my card out. And I expect him to go, no, put that away. And I said to my daughters, if you're with a real masculine man, he's gonna throw that card down or he's gonna throw that money down. Like men that are very masculine, that's my experience. They won't be all pissy about it. They're gonna be here and they kind of do that and sit back in the chair. That for me, I love all of that. I love, but then at the same time, a woman has to reciprocate. It's not about money. It's about that position as a man of being authority.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. It's not leading with your wallet, but it's having the confidence to know that I got it.
Well, because like exactly what you said, like how you are, men are expected to protect and provide, and women are expected to nurture and right. So you expect this, like the same way that it's easy for a woman to take advantage of a guy once they see that he provides or he'll give. Is the same way a man will take advantage if they see a woman is ready to play her position with and let a man lead if there are no boundaries in both instances. Because that's what it, like you could see the thing is a lot of times women let their men lead in their relationship. They know that they hold ideas, they know that they know that they balance the books, that they do 9 times 10, but they know the importance of letting their man, you know what I'm saying, like lead and do his thing. Now if she just lets it be that and she knows that this guy is not what I would say, just to say equally yoked or whatever, or is not, what I'm saying, for her, or is not at that level. Now he sees that he has that position that he could play there. Now, if she's just letting him be a man, knowing that he's not up to par, he's not at that level, he's not ready, or he's not prepared for that, and she just lets him go, he's going to take advantage. He's going to become exactly that. And then, like, what I'm saying, abusive in the second, third, take advantage. And then now she finds herself in a situation where now she has to fight out of that situation. Just like a man, if you provide and you do what you're supposed to be doing, but if a woman sees that you don't have no boundaries to it, then you're just going to provide, you're just going to do, like, that's just my opinion on it. That's just really, really my take on it. Like, it's the same thing. And I think like you just validated my point that like men do it in their own regard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my last comment on this is that I just think you can't. My biggest lesson in life with relationships is it's what is, as Oprah said. I think Oprah's saying is once someone shows you themselves, that's who they are. It's like don't create, and women are brilliant at this, by the way, men to know, Gabriel and I am Adriana T, creating these fantasies that are not true about a man, so they can meet a man and create a whole world in their mind of what this is going to be, and that man ain't even close to that, nowhere near it. But the woman's thinking, and I know I've been guilty of that, of trying to give someone space to be this thing that they just clearly are not that thing. That's my bad, because they're not going to be, they're not it. They're not making no moves to be it. So why am I sitting here having more belief in somebody than they have in themselves?
Can I ask you a question, Caroline? This is specifically like I'm asking you based off like, you know, the conversation you had with your daughter with the guy, like slamming it down, and then what you just said here. Like, if is it more so the confidence thing? Like, if a guy doesn't have the money, or like say you guys go to dinner or whatever, and you take out your card and you offer to pay, and he doesn't say anything, he just allows you to pay or whatever, like because you offered it. It's not that he was given no issue or whatever, but you offered it. But he is actually like financially strapped. He's not, you know what I'm saying, doesn't have it over. But you guys didn't get to this conversation yet. But you offered, you pulled out your card, and he doesn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like he would have been willing to go half or pay, but you pulled it out. Like to you, is that like an ex? Do you talk about it afterwards? Do you find out why, or is it like, oh, he let me pay, like your ex?
I'm not one of these high maintenance women that's had all of that. So in truth, I get that treatment off my family. I can't say I've ever had it necessarily. I've never had it in a relationship. And I think that's because when I was younger as well, you make allowances when you're younger. You know, you're both trying to make it and we're both trying to get there. So, you know, it's not a problem to go halves and all that kind of stuff. But at 46, yo, the sexiest thing you can do for me, yeah, is pay for things.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't want no broke man at 46.
I want to experience it now. I'm over this now.
Door for me, pay for shit, take me on holidays, surprise me with gifts. That's where we're at 46.
I hear you. That is your preference. I just want to know, because you're entitled to, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to know, like, you know what I'm saying?
If you're 46 and you don't know this stuff as a man, you can't come around me because I'm just a joke. You know what I'm saying?
But if I'm like, right, like if I'm, let me not say me, Lord, thank you, I'm good, I'm grateful. But like, say somebody, it doesn't have, like, say like they're just paid their rent and they was already late on their rent or whatever, but they wanted, you know, they like you, they don't want to pass you up, they don't want to, you know what I'm saying, but they don't have the let me send you on the trip money and all of that.
Yeah.
They working, you know what I'm saying? They railing, you know what I'm saying? They just not where you want them slapping down money, doing all of that. They want to be that guy, but they don't have the means right now. But you don't know that because
not me now with 2 teenage daughters.
I feel you.
Like, I'm a big hardback woman. You know what I mean? I need big hardback woman treatment. I don't want no picky behavior. That's what my daughters are supposed to deal with. Is we can't pay his rent and that. You know, at 17 and 18, but I'm way beyond that. I've been there, done all that stuff, been the kind-hearted, empathetic, and in truth, I don't think it works either. Like, if you go lower your standards and I don't care, they lose respect for you as well, you know. And it becomes this whole thing that I don't have to give her this stuff. You'll be amazed what people will give people that demand it. I've had some female friends around me, and in truth, I just think your behaviour's horrible. But they get what they want, though, because they're just like, you can't come around me unless you do that. Whereas there's sweet little old me that will, like, oh, I'll go halves with you. Oh, you know what? I'll buy
you bad boy card. Oh, you switch. You switch. You say, you know what? Being good don't work no more. Flip the switch. I think, but I also feel like, honestly, like, I asked because, you know, like a part of me like had that type of mentality, not with like money and stuff, but like a workout body, like, you know what I'm saying, like those type of like attributes. But now where I'm at, I feel like, man, that's not as kind of, is it fair to somebody like, but no, I'm not, how you take is how you take, and you're entitled to how you feel. But like, there was a point where I was like paycheck to paycheck, and I was like, you know what I'm saying, wanting to be in a situation, but I didn't allow myself to even enter into the situation because I know I didn't have the means to move the way I wanted to. I could have missed out on a love that I probably freaking find again because I was afraid to move in that, because of, I understand that women think just like that.
I think you're a woman though, so it's
yeah, but I date women, so you know.
But you're still a woman though. You're still, and I think I'm just gonna say this: is that, you know, it's just about, if it's, for me, it's about roles. And for me, my job is not to provide financially, even though I've done it, even though I've been the person making more money in the relationship and paying for more of the stuff. And that's where I've realized, like, a man, especially if there's children, has more freedom to go out there and make that money. Because you're not at home looking after the children, cooking the dinner, plaiting the hair, da 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 da. A lot of the time with women, they're doing all of it. They're the housewife, they're the cook, the cleaner, the maid, and the breadwinner. So to me, like, as a man, you got that freedom to just go out there and make that money. If I before I had children could work 2 jobs or 3 jobs, I have no empathy for men that go on about they can't make money, because I'm like, as a female, I've done it. Go and make that. If you have to clean and what, just go and make that money and shut your mouth.
I hear your point on that, actually.
So
Yeah.
Can I say? Oh, wait, Adrian, you
I
gonna say
think
something?
effort is what you get at. Put forth effort.
All right, can I say something? I just got a question on that part, because you know you said usually, I mean, obviously, usually the woman is the one to take care of the child. What if the roles is kind of reversed? Like, say my woman's in the military, so she's getting more of the money and stuff right now, and it's like I'm in a situation where it's like I'm not getting as much as I want to be. So obviously, I want to be the head, I want to lead, I want to provide, not in that sense. But it's like I'm not doing as much as I know I can, or like feel like I should be doing, or as she sees that I should be doing. So where in that aspect, like I don't really know how to. I don't really know what I was gonna ask, but like, what is that dynamic to you as the woman being like the lead and all that stuff? Where can a man still lead in that sense of not having the breadwinner right now, like not having the money right now, not having the power to speak? You know,
That's
she
tough.
I was like the BAH and like you know the money and stuff. She has the place. You know, it's all under her. It's the child. You know, she's like paying for most of the stuff. And you know, I got like the little change right here. You know, I could probably throw up some. I could probably pay for a little food here. But like, how can as a man that be? Well, I mean, I can't really ask as a man, but like, how can is that something to be dealt with, like from a woman perspective? Because I know sometimes like that makes a man like less masculine, not providing, not being able to lead, and not have that feeling like I can't really do that because I'm not making the most. I can't really say too much because I'm not making the most, even though it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be more than just money, but that's still a huge aspect.
That's a problem.
In my opinion, finances shouldn't be the determining factor whether you're completely masculine or not. It's just if you're showing effort, like say if you were just sitting at home not doing anything and not participating at all, if you're not helping with the baby, if you're not cleaning, if you're not, basically filling in those gaps, then yeah, you're simp. But you know what I mean? Just because you're not making as much money shouldn't mean that you're less masculine. To circle back to your original point, Gabriel, when you were like, you would kind of make yourself a chameleon to please. I think that's more along those lines as well, like trying to fit into a certain mold to make somebody feel a certain way. Instead of being that, just be your 100% authentic self. Look, I don't have this, but I have this, and I'm trying to do this. I
Boom.
can put effort here, here, and here. And that transparency and that honesty, I think, goes a long way with a certain type of woman, to be clear, because there are different types of women with different types of preferences. There are those ones that are sharks, just like there are men are sharks. And then there are a certain type of women who are nurturing women, and then there's a certain type of woman who is somewhere in between. I think it all is based on who you want your ideal partner to be, and then can you be that ideal person to your partner? It starts with honesty. It starts with 100% transparency. So if you're leaving your feelings in the dark for the sake of that person, you're already starting off losing. Like if you have the certain insecurities, it's better to talk about them than to let them sit and fester, in my personal opinion. Like I'm not traditional in that way like Caroline is as far as roles are concerned. As far as we are 50-50, as far as matching each other's energy, where I don't have, you have, and we both can have a conversation about it, I'm okay. I'm not necessarily looking for you to pick up everything or do this or that. We can both do and be both, but let's have that balance of the two.
Can I just say, 'cause I know you want to go, Sister Karen, but yo, there is way more. Yo, first of all, you made a very good point because it starts right there too when we're talking about relationships, the type of woman or type of man that you have, because you could either, like she said, you have a shark, you know what I'm saying, you have a bear, you know what I'm saying. So if you have the right woman, if you have the appropriate match for you, if you authentic to yourself, if you drew that person that's for you, it's more than, and you probably did. It's more than money. So if you don't have the money aspect, right, you have so many other things that, you know what I'm saying, are about you. You know what I'm saying? You're adventurous spirit, you're good in art, you're good at this. There are other things that you could bring to the table that you can teach because the respecting women want to be taken care of. We want, you know what I'm saying, all of that stuff, whether in whatever type of relationship. But more importantly, we want to grow. We want to feel like somebody that can, like the same thing you want. You want somebody to teach you and help you to develop in areas where you're weak. So does your partner. And then if you don't have the money aspect, then come full head on, come 10 times stronger in another department or two.
Exactly.
This is not even really seen or felt so much because yo, he's doing so much right. I don't even fuck right here. So you know what I'm saying? There's it's about balance too. You don't have it here. You have other things. Find your niche. Find what you have. Find what you could bring and elevate. What does she talk to you about that? You know what I'm saying? That what are her dreams? What are her goals? What could you research and learn about that you could bring to the table and show and help her move up and elevate on that? There's so many other things besides money. You're already in a relationship. The hardest part is getting the girl when you don't got the money. You already got her. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now all you got to do is, you know what I'm saying, like take your time and find who you are and, you know what I'm saying, listen to her so that you could provide and bring to it. Provide in more ways than one, brother man.
Yeah, because you can't generalize. You know, you really can't. And it's crazy when you really get to the bottom of it and you go, we're all individuals crafted by the Most High with unique energetic signatures and all this. And then think you can go that this is like this and that is like that, you know. But I think I would say, as a man should never start to lower himself. That masculine energy has to be there no matter what the circumstance, because that's where things like the term simp comes from. Women don't like that. Women don't like men. Women that are feminine and heterosexual, from my experience, the women that I know don't like when a man starts to make himself small, because that is the opposite to masculine as far as I'm concerned. No matter what is going on, you should still walk like a man and talk like a man and be a man and know you're a man. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you become something that women can't really tolerate, in truth. It becomes intolerable. But I think, you know, you being at home and doing what you're doing is big. And a lot of women would appreciate and love that. You know, I think one of the sexiest things a man can do is look after their own child. You know, a man nurturing and changing the nappy and getting up in the night and all those things is really beautiful. And I think a lot of women love that, you know, but generations and socialization and all that, I don't know. But yeah, just that's all I'd say to you, Gabriel. Don't lower yourself no matter what is going on. And as Cynthonia said, you got other things you can bring to the table. Don't look at what you're doing as less. Just make sure.
Go ahead,
No,
Tony. Go ahead.
cut you off, but I did want to just say to what you said, to your point that because even before the money, before all of that, like, yo, you're gonna see the security or insecurity. You know what I'm saying? You're either confident or you're not. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't have the money or whatever that you want to have, if you have the confidence you're going to get the money, that's going to show more than you not even having the money. But if you, because then that's going to start seeping into other things that, you know what I'm saying, that lack of confidence and then that insecurity because she's making more than that, because then you, other things are going to start falling apart slowly. You're not even going to see when it starts happening because of those insecurities. So those are the, like she said, that you be secure in who you are. Once you're secure, you're going to find other revenues. You're going to know, like, even, yo, there's people who get women that are so bad and they be so, I'll be like, what? It's pure confidence. And I'll be like, that makes no sense. But you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's true. So, Sister Caroline had a point. Like, stay confident, stay true, and to your masculinity first, you know what I'm saying? And have that confidence to know that you have more to give.
Also, to Caroline's point, what you're doing is also very much so masculine, because in order to be nurturing, to be a father, to be someone who can stand on his own too and understand that this is what I need to do right now for my family, for the betterment of us all, that's also very much so masculine. That's understanding the true meaning of being both masculine and feminine, which we all are. You have to embrace both at some point. I think that's where us as women sometimes get lost, especially Black women, because we've had to be both. We've had to be more masculine. We've had to lead the households and do all of the things. So some of us get lost in that. And then there are others who also experience that, who just want to be pampered and taken care of and do nothing. Both of both archetypes are missing that, you know, that understanding that you need both types of energy. You need to be creative and introspective, and you also need to be analytical and logical. Once you find that balance is when you've won. So so please understand that what you're doing is not necessarily weak in any capacity. And I agree with Caroline. A nurturing man is so damn sexy. Are you kidding me? That shows me that you have heart. That shows me that you have an understanding. That shows me that you are gonna be more open and a little bit softer when I need you to be, instead of barking at me when I'm trying to have a conversation. Because a lot of men lack that. That's also very much something that's a shortcoming these days. So yeah, man, you, again, I said it before, I say it again, you're a lot further ahead than you think you are. But you just have to see it for yourself.
Reminds me of when Aunt McQueen was on and he talked about how as his children are growing, there are times when his wife Sandy would be the breadwinner, right? And he would be at home getting them ready for school, doing whatever. But then times change and he's the one, you know, bringing in the bread. But what they're saying is the recurrent thing of confidence, right? Through it all, Aunt McQueen remained Aunt McQueen. So that's what I would say, Gabe. Through it all, just remain who you are, steadfast in knowing that it's like this now. But are you a part of the book club that we're reading on Think and Grow Rich, Gabe?
Yeah, I am. I haven't been consistent on being in there. I actually have the book in person. I got it before
that's
they
the
even
part.
decided to do it. But
so reading that book, I think, could help with it too. To just get that burning desire for that, you know, bring that idea to fruition, that thought, because it's a key. It's a key. I read that book when I was in a similar space to what you're talking about right now, and I just wasn't really applying. So application for sure. Confidence. You're twice defeated in any race if you start thinking like, yo, you know, I don't know about this, but that's what I'm gonna share on that. Just be confident and really, you know, lean in on being supportive. Like one of the questions that was asked in the promo is, how do I support my partner while still working on myself? So that's key.
Much appreciated.
And I just to reinforce what Emmanuel said, because I was thinking of Aunt McQueen as well. But what my thought was, I forgot that he had that situation with his wife. But what was going through my head was the example of his dad, because he talked about his dad having to do that. So that was role modeled to him, and therefore it was a natural thing for him to do. And it sounded to me like he didn't question it or see it as not masculine or anything because his dad did it. So I think, again, it's about perception and what's been put onto us and what, because I do think from an outside perspective that America is very money driven, and it's less so here. From my experience, there'd be people that argue that and will go, what you're talking about. But in the world that I live in, money's not that big a deal. But I think there's so much. When it gets reduced just down to money, it doesn't mean anything. It's a whole holistic thing of what are you contributing to your family.
Oh, okay.
You got a lot, Gabriel. You've been told over and over again by us. You've got a lot. You've got the foundations for what's on Immanuel's t-shirt. You got the foundations for greatness. You're great already, but you definitely, if you carry on the way you are, with the openness and the questioning and the philosophical mind, as Adriana said, all of these qualities. So you gotta, like Emmanuel said, you gotta always walk with that. Always walk with that, Don't bend and don't let depression get you. Don't let, whatever get you. Because you got it.
Mm-hmm. For real, because I didn't sound like you until I was about 30. Like, as you know what I'm saying, as like self-conscious, aware, and you know what I'm saying, like understanding of what I wanted, who I wanted to be, not understanding where I was. I didn't sound like that until I was about 30, to be honest. So, damn, you know what I'm saying? You good. You know what I'm saying? There's people I feel like I wish that they would have waited to have a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, children, grow them, develop them. Hold on, I'm sorry about that. Well, I have to keep my camera up real quick. But there's some people who, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's good that you had a kid. It's not a bad thing that you had a kid. You know what I'm saying? You're developed. It's only gonna help you. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't gonna sit here and blow your head up any big. It's looking kind of big already. You understand?
And that first year of a baby is like nothing else. So it's not gonna feel stable or anything in that first year of having a baby. I think even people who've got everything in place, money, house, whatever, it turns your world upside down. It's a big adjustment. All right, so Cynthonia, you haven't answered this. What attributes and qualities are essential for you in a partner and for you to give?
Dang, I actually forgot about that question. Basically, honesty. Everybody wants honesty, right? But I want honesty even when it's hard. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be able to tell me the things that you think I would leave you for. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause those are the things that you not telling me or us not discussing those things are the things that build up the distrust and the insecurities within me. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Just tell me the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like, just tell me the truth. Tell me what's real. Tell me how you feeling. Tell me if I'm doing something wrong. Tell me if you don't agree with something. Tell me, you know what I'm saying? Just keep it real. Keep it 100. Keep it 100. Accountability is a big one for me because I'm a person that takes accountability often. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that I find joy in taking accountability, but every time I take accountability for something, I have something to ponder on, to think about, like where's the weakness or where can I develop, or it's a way for me to dissect that piece of me or that area. So I want somebody to be accountable because it's very annoying and frustrating, when you could be accountable in a situation and then a situation arises and you look for that person to be accountable, because you're always accountable. And for that person not to be accountable is very, very, that gets under my skin. That grinds my gears. So that I do have some superficial ones, you know, I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Like I would like, you know, a healthy attribute, because I have times I'm saying I should say more so selfish. This is a selfish attribute that I look for. I would like somebody that's like healthy, health conscious, you know what I'm saying, into themselves as far as like looking and feeling and being good spiritually. Because there are times when I fall off the wagon, and I would like somebody to be there to, you know what I'm saying, keep me motivated, or for me not to be off track for so long, you know what I'm saying, or longer than necessary. So that, and somebody that listens. And I don't mean like just listening to the words coming out of my mouth, but like listens and is willing to make changes, or you know what I'm saying, to show that they listen in the situation. Because I'm gonna listen, and if it makes you uncomfortable something, and it's not like you're not being controlling or manipulative, and it's something healthy or something for us to grow, whatever, I'm definitely gonna like work towards that. And I want the same thing. And basically, I'm looking to give everything that I'm looking for. I'm working on within myself to give to that person. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I also want to be able to provide and to nurture and to help develop and build someone. And I look for those things too. That's it. I mean, there's a whole long list, but that is like the foundation.
Yeah, I like that, because I think that's really where I'm at as well. I think for me, I'm thinking about it, what attributes, what qualities, and you said it with the truth and accountability. I think anytime it's gone wrong for me in relationships, I really personally, betrayal for me. I'm like one of these like old school film, you know what I mean? Like, you are a villain if you betray me. Thou dost not betray Kaz. Like, I don't play with that stuff, man. It like that whole kind of thing of like super saiyan, as I say. And something happens in my system, and I do feel like now I know myself better. It's cosmic when somebody's blatantly lying to me, because I know intuitively, I can feel it, especially in a partnership, you know. And women all over the world will talk about saying, I knew he was cheating. And I asked him for a year, and he kept denying it. And then he eventually, but it's that gaslighting and that sending you mad. And for me, that's one of those things where the respect just goes, because you're a coward. Why are you standing there lying like an idiot, as we would say, fassy? You're a fassio. You're a fassio, you get me? You shouldn't be standing there lying like that. So,
I haven't heard that word in a long time.
I'm from Birmingham, man. We use these old school terms, these old school Jamaican terms. But yeah, like, I just don't respect that. I don't like cowardly behavior. And I think if you're constantly lying, that to me says you're a coward, because you got to be able to do the thing. I was raised, my mom's hardcore, but I was raised, if you're going to do the thing, you better be able to stand in it. You know what I mean? Do what you like, but you need to be able to stand in it. So if I can do that as a female, as my partner is a man, you better be able to do that. You know, I will respect you. I may not like what you're saying. If you've done something and you tell me the truth, but you know, if you've done something and then you stand there lying like a little 10-year-old, like, you gotta go, mate. Like,
thing is, I'm gonna know you lying. I know you lying. I know it. You could swear. You could listen. Yep. I knew it before you did it. Listen. I know. Like, come on. The thing that is gonna grind my gears is if you want to sit there and look at because now you make me. So now you think I'm slow. Now you think I'm stupid. Now you're trying to play me like I'm a sucker. Like, so now I feel like you don't have no respect for me. So how can I have respect for you? Because now I feel like you don't have respect for me because you're sitting there lying to my face like I'm a retard. Why?
Something that, just talking about the cheating part that you brought up, Caroline, That's something
Yeah.
that men take harder than women, believe it or not. So you said something like you can respect it, right? If they're just upfront and honest about it. For men, or at least for me, I can't speak for all men. I think that's where it's like it's no coming back from, almost like you cheated. I guess because I don't want to share anything with anybody. So
Yeah.
I just want to verify I'm leaving if you cheat too, but I'm talking about lying. You know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying? Like you could do something like, oh, you met up with somebody or whatever, or you could do something that you just know that you would not like for me to do. You know what I'm saying? Like it would make you feel so uncomfortable if I did it. To me, like that's a violation, right? So if you lying about something like that, like be real with me. You know what I'm saying? But absolutely, I think cheating is definitely redrawing the line right there. I am monogamy, not polygamy, not monogamy, not octogamy, just one anime.
I, I wanted to say, so I don't. This may just be me because I'm also very much so super health conscious, but I don't think it's selfish to want that because I think that's also something that's lost. And you don't necessarily have to be heavy set to be unhealthy. You could be a rail and be unhealthy too. I think that's key, truthfully, for us as a community to get into that mindset. And yeah, we're gonna have our imperfect days, and I absolutely agree with you. You need somebody to like think you might have had too many chips. You know what I'm saying? You think you might have, you know what I mean? Think you might have had enough to drink. You know what I mean? But just to do those things in such a way that is kind and understanding, and my intent, as opposed to say a friend who may just you know, rub you the wrong way, or a stranger, whoever. I think everything that you said was more than understandable, and I don't think any of that was superficial. I mean, sure, everybody has a type, I guess you could say, as far as physical attributes are concerned, but again, once you get to know a person, you never know. But if you are, like, say in my case, like I had issues with that, believe it or not, when I was heavier, I didn't want to be with a heavier person. Um, but now that I've gone through that journey or whatever, say I meet somebody who's just like me and has lost a significant amount of weight and is working on the tone up, I'm not going to judge that person. I'm going to listen to you and understand your perspective. So I think it's all about wellness in general. I think wellness should be on everybody's card. And I don't think that's superficial. I think that's supremely important.
I agreed. And there's something, just to answer what Emmanuel said, I think there's something like so deep in our spirit and soul, for me anyway, because I know what I turn into, with the cheating thing for men and women. And it's good to hear a man's perspective because, sometimes as women, I've had this conversation with other women. Like, do men know what they're doing when they're just going around doing that? Like, do you know that women are crazy? And that, there can be murder there as well. Like, it's not like women find out, oh, he cheated on me. We go, oh, no, my poor broken heart. Like, we start plotting and shit, sorry. Then stuff. Like, women can go be absolutely nuts if they find out that you've cheated, and they go hunting down the other woman, they smash up cars, they burn down houses. Like, that violation, there's something very unique about that lie and that sneaking around. It's almost, for me, it's all encompassing and almost inescapable, that level of betrayal.
Caroline, I got a question on that because this is something that I feel in my spirit and I don't understand. Why do women do that? I personally don't do that, but why do women do that? Why is it that when something like that happens, right, and you go crazy and you find out your guy or your girl, whoever is doing something, why do we go after the person they were with? And why not go for them? That
I
makes no logical sense to me. Like, I understand that they violated, but at the end of the day, it's your dude or your woman who violated. You shouldn't really give a damn. Sorry, you shouldn't really care about that other person. Your focus, your singular focus, in my opinion, should be on the person that you're with, because that person knew what they were doing when they did it. Straight up.
Yes.
I don't understand. I've always thought that was supremely stupid. But go ahead. But I just had to get that out there. Like, I've never understood that. Like, if you cheat on me, it's a me and you problem. That other person, I could care less,
I
because at
never
the
go.
end of the day, you violated.
Yeah, I'm not going for no other woman. I wouldn't give her that power in the first place. You mad? Some women do it on purpose, and they do it because it's you. That's a fact. Some I've had it. I've been with my partner, and these women are doing all this stuff, and I'm like, there. You know, women go through that as well. So there are predatory women that will go for your man because he's your man. But the bottom line is, your man should be going, or your partner should be going. Come on, look, you see her there.
That's
That's
my
what should
point.
be happening. So when he's sitting there going, wait till we get home. Wait till we get home. Deal with your backside. Because it is, I agree, Adriana, it's nonsensical. I wouldn't even give her the grace of, like, give her that power, even look upon her. Got nothing to do with that. But women, you know what women are like.
A
Yeah,
woman doing
that's
that
why I asked the
because
question. Why is that? That's so silly. That is extremely stupid. But go ahead. Go ahead.
you see that part that you just brought up, Caroline, about women going after a man that's already taken. Are they doing that because they see him as a provider and someone that, was what they call the eligible bachelor? Because it always happens without fail. Anytime I'm in a relationship, that's when they start jumping out the woodwork. And it's crazy to me.
Yeah, they do. They do. I think it's because it's partly competition with the other woman. I think sometimes if you've got a high caliber woman, they think if they can get with your man, they're on the same level as you. So sometimes it's that, but it's also, I think, what you're saying, that image of you being a partner and what that shows gives them another perspective of you. But it's all that stuff is really low level, insecure. You got to dig. I don't know, because I'm not one of them.
On some levels, though, right? On that level, if you have like, because I think that's 100% true. I think you have one side, you have like people who just, there's just a competition of it. They want what a woman has to see if they are better than that woman, or if they, you know what I'm saying? But the other side of it is vibration too. If you're in a relationship and you are doing certain things in you, that's a vibration, that's a wave or whatever. And the people who are on that wave or who are ready to be in are going to feel that same wave. And that's my hypothesis on that, because I feel like, yeah, you have people who intentionally try to go after people for whatever malice reasons, but when it comes out the woodwork and somebody you bump into, you don't know them from nowhere, and you know what I'm saying, now, like, or somebody that you saw like 6 months ago or whatever, like working at this building, and now you over here, whatever, you run back into this person and you didn't speak before, but now all of a sudden you, like, I think it's a vibration, it's a wave thing or whatever that you actually meet on.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Because sometimes it's with people that you've never met a day in your life, but they start coming on to you and you're like, where's this come from? They don't even know that you're in a relationship.
Right.
But when you're single, it's like you're invisible.
You're not doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably in that want stage or whatever, but that's a different frequency. The want frequency is a different frequency from being on the frequency, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you're invisible. You're not on the same wavelength, you know what I'm saying? So it feels hurtful, it feels like, damn, but that's all it is. Get your game up, get on the wavelength. But what I wanted to say to Adriana is, and like, exactly that. I think that, because I think it's so stupid too, and I always say that, but I believe it's the fact that women be feeling like, to the man you did me wrong, or and vice versa, whoever, you did me wrong, but to the person you got my dude or my woman, like, you had her, like, It's just the competition. Like, you had what was mine. You better than me. Like, in what way? Like, who do you think you are? The jealousy, the fact that like they wanted you when they already had me is like makes a person who's not in control of their emotions rageful and not able to, you know what I'm saying, control themselves, and they just act in rage. Because what? Why the hell else? Sorry, but why else?
Yeah, that's what
Outside
I
of
was thinking of.
insecurity.
That's what I was thinking off of tone. It's like people who like go after the other person and they cheated, really insecurity, really anger in the moment. So obviously, like as a man, you see that happen, and it's like, oh, there's this nigga here. I'm not gonna hit my woman. Well, obviously I'm gonna be upset with him, and like you want him to get out and stuff like that. But it's like in the moment, it's like, oh, I need to fuck something up. Like it's that rage. So it's like he's here.
Yeah,
Why not?
somebody got to get it right, right.
So like that's that initial thought, but then obviously it's not the best thinking in the moment to do. Obviously, there's ways to go about it. You can let them get away with it, but then it's that thought like if I just let him slide with nothing, it's like dang, now he got to my woman, even though it's her fault. Like, he got to her. Now let him, get away scot free. Nah, nah. Yeah.
That's
That's
real.
a machismo thing to see, and that go see it. That's a clear example of how that goes both ways. Like, why do you feel the need to defend your woman or your manhood based on the fact that your relationship is clearly broken? That makes no sense. Like, focus on the relationship that's broken. On in my opinion, as far as that's concerned, and to go back to what Emmanuel was saying about the attraction thing. I do think there's a difference of aura when you're in a relationship. Like, say if it's a stranger you've never met before, but for the people who know you're in a relationship and then try to go after you, I think it's a sense of insecurity with them. Like, damn, all of a sudden you have the wherewithal to establish yourself in a relationship. I want to see if I can break you. You know what I'm saying? I want to see if that's really real. And that's super unhealthy and unhinged as well. I think there's just a whole lot of healing that a lot of people need to do for real.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
Now, I've experienced that in as well. When I was much younger in high school, I was with a girl and her friends would actually come to me and I'm like, chill. But that sums it up. Yeah.
That's why it's such a. I just think when you're doing that cheating stuff, it's such a violation. It's just a no go thing. That's what for me when it's happened to me. I just can't believe it's like it's not the same thing, but I could liken it to breaking in my house and going through my knicker drawer, my underwear drawer, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't break in your friend's house and steal their stuff and throw all their and piss on their floor. So it's just to me, it's a crazy violation. You know what I mean? Like, and when your partner does that, definitely, like, I've tried to forgive twice. I absolutely don't forgive. I just pretended to forgive, but I never forgave nothing. I hated them underneath, and that's just the truth. You know what I mean? So for me, if you cheat on me, I'm not a cheat. If you cheat on me, then it's done. Now I know it's done. Now I know I can't forgive. I can't forgive that. I can pretend. I can try to be nice, but I just can't. So this is a subject I think that is rife on the internet, though, isn't it? This is all these toxic relationships and stuff. This is the bottom line of a lot of it is just betrayal. So, sort of along those lines, going on to polyamory. I think we know what Cynthonia's views on this are already. Polyamory, polygamy, and monogamy. What are your thoughts, and do you see one as preferable?
I think everybody personally has a preference. I'm with Tone. I don't share. I'm not sharing. But I also think mind your own business and allow other people to have their own perspectives. Like just because you don't agree with their type of relationship doesn't necessarily mean they should be judged for it, because there are people in poly relationships that actually work. There are people who have open relationships that actually work. Um, I think it's preference. Mind your own business and don't judge, because everybody's personal business is their own personal business at the end of the day, and it has nothing to do with you. That's my take on that.
I think some people are in poly relationships and they don't even know it.
Yo, whew.
That's what's foul. That's
And
what's
they don't
foul. That's
even
the
know it.
foul
Please
part.
say that again with your chest. And no,
That's foul,
that's
and that's
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah.
Say that again.
So, a lot of times, majority of the times, we think of our partner as belonging to us, right? I think that's what we were all touching on, like, oh, this is even myself. I'm not above it, right? But ultimately, people are going to do what they want to do. My preference is for a monogamous relationship. I haven't tried anything else and I don't want to, right? But honestly speaking, I can see why people have those type of relationships, because it's when it's done in the way that it's thought to be practiced properly, right? There's no lying, nobody's getting jealous, nobody's feelings are hurt, or at least that's what's expressed by people that are in these relationships. So I can see how it can be a benefit, especially in the day and age when people are off the rails. So it's hard to find somebody that is confident. I'm just talking about for the other side, right? Confident and can provide, and they only want one person. So for me, it is monogamy, but I'm not against anything else. Do what works for you. I can't judge on that.
Can I just say something? Because a lot of people are in relationships that they think are with one person, but it's not. See, I agree with both of you guys, and that's how I originally felt. You know how I feel. One person. I need to know where anything is coming from. I need to know who I'm coming from. I need to know all of that. I need not even only that, I need somebody that I'm sharing parts of myself with that I don't plan on sharing with nobody else. You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping to get that in reciprocity. The problem is that when you have, but if you want to do it, it's not my place. And like Adriana said, things work differently for other people. But the problem is, to me, in my opinion, people like, you have ego, you have so many different things, right? That a person, an individual has. So when you are in a open relationship, you could be in an open relationship where everybody knows and it's an open book and there's no lying here in this circle. These 4 or 5 people that we're cycling or whatever, everybody knows. But this one person who is enjoying this life, who knows this life, who it's working here, might go over here to this woman or this guy, and now they want this person. That person is a monogamous person. They're not playing that other game. This person still wants this person. They're gonna still play this game, but now they're gonna sit here and tell this person a lie because they want this person. Nobody in the circle knows about this person that I have on the side or whatever, but I want this person. I'm selfish. My pride says that I can do it. I've been doing it over here, and I'm not thinking so much about this person's feelings in the moment that I want what I want. And by the time I start caring too much, it's already going to be too late, and I'm going to be afraid to tell you the truth and this and that, and all the other problems are already situated.
The side piece play.
You understand what I'm saying? So to me, and that a lot of times is what I hear or get from, swinging relationships. like I said, it's not my business. But I don't prefer it. And I don't like my friends, like if I'm giving advice, I'm not rooting for it because I'm just letting you know all the things that can come with it. But you still do what you want to do.
And to your point, that also is on along the same lines in a poly relationship. Like somebody close to me was in one, and in that particular relationship, uh, there was one guy, two girls, or two women, and he was under the impression that everybody was on the same page. But one woman, in my opinion, it was both, but I'll let the relationship speak for itself. But one woman was only in the polyamorous relationship because that's what he wanted, and they wanted to keep the guy around. And in that type of situation, it's just as unhealthy because you're unhappy at the end of the day, and you're putting up with something that you know you don't agree with, but you're only saying yes because you want to keep this person attached to you, as opposed to being honest and just saying make a decision. So and that's my take on multiple partners. First of all, that's a lot. Second of all, that's a whole lot of private information. There's a whole lot of private parts. There's a whole lot of you don't know this, that, and the third thing. Are you taking care of yourself? You don't know
Mhm.
what energy you're inviting into your most sacred spaces. It's just a bit much for me. Again, I'm not going to judge, but yeah, I've seen that type of energy firsthand, and it's just too much, in my opinion. It's too much. Like that is a lot of energy. A lot of energy.
Gabriel, agreed. Adriana, agreed.
I really don't even got too much to say about on that because honestly, I really like I know about those relationships and stuff, but I just never paid attention to them because it's like I mean I just know what I know, and I stick to what I know. I'm not I can't be much of a jealous type, so it's not like I'm not trying to I can't share and I can't have more than one because it's like then it gets complicated. You like this person, then you like this person, but you don't like this person more than this person, certain aspects, and it's just like now somebody's being favored in it. That's a lot. Like Adriana said, that's a lot. That's a whole lot. Like I can barely focus on myself. Makes you think I can focus on two other people. So honestly, that's my take on it. I don't know. I mean, whoever likes to do that, they like to do it. But in a certain sense, I feel like that's also like showing kind of flaws in knowing yourself, trying to, do multiple people because it's like you have certain aspects that you don't know that you like about this person, and certain aspects you don't know that you like about this person, instead of, knowing all of you and just getting it from one specific person. You're trying to, branch out. Let me go here, let me go there. Like you're all over the place. You're not really centered. That's my take on it. But yeah.
Great point. See, you're wise at your young age. Because for me, it's like there was a moment where it was all in the spiritual community or whatever, and they're going on and on about it. And I'm just like, when they say, like, they're going, it's, there's, of course, there's jealousy. Sorry, I'm going to sound so wrong here. Do what you want to do, first of all. Everybody do your thing. Like, I'm not judging you. If that floats your boat, do your thing. I don't care. But for me, I'm like, when you're saying there is jealousy in it, you just have to. I'm like, well, why are you doing that for? Why would you do that to yourself? I'm not going into a relationship which I know is going to create energy in me that I don't want. I don't want to have jealous feelings that I have to manage. I don't want to share no man. I want to share my bed. Like you said, there's a whole load of private things all getting all intermingled. No, thank you. And then and then it is about that whole thing of what requires more courage. For me, it's courageous and strong. For my personal journey, I want that person that I grow with. I want that person that I take the time to get to know and to study and who does the same for me. And I think that if there's a man, if a man doesn't mind me going and having sexual intercourse or intimacy with another man, I got no respect for you, brethren. Not one piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should want me here to yourself, That's what I want my man to be saying. And for me, it is ownership. There is a sense of ownership. I'm not even going to pretend like, if you're my man, you are my man. I'm not about all this modern day doo doo. That's my man. You know it. You know it. You know it. He's mine, and I'm his. I'm old school like that. Nothing less. I don't want to do all this fluffy foolishness. So that's it's not fluffy foolishness for you if you're in a polygamous relationship and you're happy, like. But I think it's very clear where I stand on it. I'm not for it, and I've kind of said I think there's a lot of stuff being promoted to us that we're supposed to accept, and I think some of this polyamory, polygamy, is about sex as well. If I'm honest, it's about sex and it's about running away from real intimacy emotionally. You know, it's getting your freak off in the bedroom, and when you can't deal with this one here, you just go over to that one over there. You know, how many of these relationships are actually a woman with 5 men? Because what you tend to see in these things is one man and multiple women. Who does that serve? So yeah, I think there's a lot in it that needs unpicking. And I think it's one of these things in lots of ways that's been sold to us and we're supposed to just buy it. I think Earn Your Leisure did something about it one time I watched, and they were saying that they went over to Africa and they looked at the situations over there, and it's a totally different system. You know, you have to there's an exchange of money. You know, the man has to house the wives. The wives don't live together. It's a whole system that is created and exists. It's not just this kind of modern thing of where you go, I'm polyamorous and I've got a girlfriend over there and a boyfriend over there, and you know, it's like there's no order in it.
I saw that episode as well. Yeah, it's a very high level of being able to provide. It's like they brought up something of you're not just even providing for that woman per se, it's her family that you have to make a trade-off or a bargain with. Like you have to bring some type of livestock to the table to even get that woman from her family.
I think they also spoke to in a lot of, especially over there, like sometimes it's not even about the sexual relationship. Sometimes it's about filling a specific role. Like you manage the books. Like, I think it's something like that within the Nation of Islam. I'm not 100%. I'm not a part of the nation, never have been, but from my understanding, that is part of that system. Like certain relationships are specifically to fulfill a certain role within the conglomerate. But at the end of the day, I'm with Caroline. Like there's gonna be a level of jealousy. There's gonna be a level of somebody who's getting their feelings hurt. Especially, I don't want to speak for all women, but most women have a certain emotional boundary, and whether they say it or not, they feel a certain type of way if they're not getting, say, attention, or if they're not, if they're seeing something that they don't vibe with. And if you're with multiple partners, how do you balance that? It makes no sense to me. It really doesn't make any sense to me. Again, I'm not judging. Do you? But doing you is going to cause you a lot more problems, in my opinion, if you are doing you and you and you and you. Truthfully.
Yeah, definitely. Any more views on that? What about monogamy then? What is it about monogamy that you find appealing?
Like you said,
What
courage, the ability to grow with somebody, to learn somebody, to evolve with somebody, to know that that person is going to change and so are you, to have the courage to push through arguments, to push through disagreements, to come to healthy impasses, to raise children, or whatever the case may be, whatever your relationship dynamic is. But to do that with one person takes a lot of grit and courage and focus and understanding and a lot of intelligence. I think a lot of people don't do that because they don't want to put forth that effort anymore. You ain't got to be married, but be with me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that people don't necessarily want to gravitate towards anymore. But that's what I find appealing and special about a monogamous relationship.
Thank you. Gabriel, you were going to say something. Thanks, Adriana.
I was about to ask what is a monogamous relationship, but then it kind of got answered. Like I've heard the word, but I've never really thought about what it meant. Just basically one on one.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's basically my take on it too. It's really just, I mean, it's a different feeling when you get to learn somebody, like get to know them like the back of your hand. It's like I know them, they know me, they know my triggers, I know their triggers, I know how to calm them down, they know how to calm me down, they know how to hype me up. It's like there's a sense in that, and it's like I don't know, some things that just can't get taken away. Yeah.
Anyone else?
For me, it's just the security in it, right? I know that if something happens in this dynamic, it's me and you. It's not me, you, her, him. However, it's constructed in another type of relationship. It's that for me, the security of being with that one person and not having to guess about anything.
Yeah, I feel like I just always like really love like those old couples. They be like 70, 80, they be together looking so like you know what I'm saying? Like it's not even about sex at that point, it's about companionship and they still just have each other that they just trust on and love. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one, but also like you said, the security. I can't have no different baby daddy, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like just knowing that the energy that is in my bed or in my home or that I'm building with is just that energy. Like that energy is not going out mixing with other energy and bringing baggage back and you know what I'm saying, causing a disruption because ultimately, even though I'm in this relationship, the relationship is an add-on. What I'm doing in my life and the peace and the joy and everything that I'm structuring in my life or whatever, like you're supposed to add on to it. I'm not looking for you to come in and now disrupt it in any way. And I do believe that once you start mixing energies, you start adding baggages from different energies. And you know what I'm saying? That right there, you could feel it. Even before you know a person is cheating or doing this and a third, you could feel the energies shifting and changing and things like that happening. You know what I'm saying? So I just I just want peace. I want peace and I want what I deserve. You know what I'm saying? And monogamy has that for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say that piece too about energy. That's a lot of energy being given. It's like when you're one on one, it can be energy given, reciprocated. And if you don't got the energy, someone gives you energy, they don't have the energy, you give it to them. But now if you're dealing with multiple people, it's like if I ain't got energy, and you ain't got energy, and you want my energy, I ain't got nothing to give you. So it's like I'm playing a dead end game. Now I'm getting irritated. Now they feeling left out like I don't give them energy all the time. But that's a lot of energy going around. I don't know.
You just stressed me out there, Gabriel, just with that that verbal diagram, the energy there, the energy. I'm like, whoa, not for 5 minutes am I living that reality. And I think it's courageous, especially if you've been hurt in the past. I know going forth into the next relationship requires courage for me and growth and faith and you invest all that in this one person and there's always the potential that they could walk off or you decide to walk off, you've had enough. So I think monogamy, there's a level of courage that some would argue doesn't exist in polygamy because you've got these multiple places you can go no matter what. But with monogamy, if that person goes, now you're out there in the wind with all of what you've invested.
Yeah, I think that actually goes to what I said. That's actually, a good point. It's a insecurity thing to polygamy, whatever you call that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I said it. Okay, it's an insecurity thing. You know, a fear thing. It's a fear. There's a good possibility that people who are in there are fearful of getting hurt, fearful, or they've been hurt before and the point said, I'll never love again, but don't want to be alone. So this is a way for them to, yeah, maybe, you know what I'm saying? It's a fear, it's an insecurity thing, but still keep that away from me. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it feels, doesn't it? For me, it feels intuitive. Like when you see them Egyptian statues and stuff, it feels one-on-one is intuitive. I just don't buy this whole story that it's something that, like, my understanding is it got introduced in Africa because it was about the men taking care of the women that didn't have partners because there wasn't enough men. It wasn't about sex and all of that. It was men having responsibility for those women that don't have a partner.
To the community. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how I see a parallel with today. Like I said earlier, some people are out of their mind crazy and wouldn't be able to be in a committed relationship. So you have people that can provide a level of security nowadays, and it's not just about being here, there, and everywhere. Dr. Umar brought up in a recent interview about having two queens, as he put it. And he said it in a way where there's order to it. It's not for me to have freak offs and go be with her when I don't want to be with you, but him just saying that he's so busy of a man that he would need more than one. So I can see in some instances where that can work. And in community building, bringing up a strong community, if you have able-bodied men that are willing to provide for more than one household. Now, it could get sticky, but I can see the benefits of it if it makes sense.
That's why I feel like ultimately it's up to those people as long as it's an open book, it's an open page, right? Like in this example that you just gave, I could see somebody like Dr. Umar, right? Like I respect now, no, we just get an image of him. Nobody knows what he's like behind doors, but like let's just take the idea of him as a leader, you know what I'm saying, thought leader, somebody who is building and progressing, you know what I'm saying, communities, one community at a time. Now, if he feels like he needs a woman in different areas, he's having, they know about, it's open relationship. I'm hoping everybody knows that this is how he is. He's taking his information, he's taking his knowledge, he's imparting it, he's growing, he's developing this woman as a wife in this area, whatever. But are the women having other relationships too, or he's just having a relationship with them?
That's the part right there, right? Because men couldn't handle it. Men couldn't handle it. You know, I think back to even not to say that he couldn't handle it, but somebody else that was very busy, Martin Luther King. It's rumored that he had multiple partners.
Now that you say that, because now I thought I didn't.
Him being so busy.
For me, when I think about him, I feel distaste. But how come I don't feel? I think it's because I feel like there was secrecy with Dr. King.
Yeah.
I felt that's why I feel like you know what I'm saying, like not giving somebody the option to choose is a big problem for me, because you, especially from a man to a female, because you have diseases and you have things that you could transmit that you can't take away, a pill cannot fix. You understand what I'm saying? So like to take away that, and then on top of that, like to mess with some people, somebody like Dr. Umar, somebody like Dr. Martin Luther King, the level of intelligence that they have, they could actually mess up the psyche of a woman, of an individual. They can mess up someone's self-esteem. They can break somebody. You know what I'm saying? With the level of stature that they are and their intelligence or what they have. So they're dangerous people to go about something like this and lying and doing this and that. And that's why I feel like I didn't like Dr. Martin Luther King. What I'm hearing about Dr. Mark wouldn't bother me if it was open and fair and honest, and everybody was on the same playing field. Because if you feel like because you are over there and you're over here and you need different relationships because you're all over the place, when you're over here with this person needs somebody there. Why doesn't this person need somebody at that moment? So that's yeah.
Also, on the opposite side of that, if you do your research, like taking it back to Kemetic Egypt, it was one man, one woman, and that woman was a force, and that's the original man and woman, and that was the original dynamic. And at the end of the day, man, like even in those situations where, and again, those people do you, but somebody is always left hanging out to dry at a certain point by default. That's where I get lost in it, whether we're speaking about the sneaky version where you're cheating on someone or the open version where everybody's in agreement. Even though you're in agreement, you're also taking a back seat. That's the part that I don't agree with. Like in a relationship, you should always be in a partnership. And I feel like when you open that up to multiple partners, there's no way that partnership can be equally yoked. There's just no way. Because somebody's gonna, what if I'm emotional today and I just need to be held, but you over here in daggone Kentucky with Shorty Girl because today is her day. I'm not feeling that. That doesn't make sense to me. like that, that does not work for me. And I'm sure for the guys, the same thing. Like, I don't want my female over here with Tyrone today and you would be on Wednesday. That does not make sense. And I agree with what Gabe said. Like, there's a lot of insecurity with guys. Like, even though they say they're with it, I don't think they can handle that for real.
What happens if somebody like Brittany? So now, what if somebody falls? This is the question for you, Armand. So now, in his situation, what happens if somebody falls in love with somebody, and now he leaves or she leaves, and they go their way? Does the person still feels like heartbroken? What happens? Is it right? Is it okay? Does everybody else involved, they just all right, he's out, she's out, what? You still feel hurt. You still feel what is the point of it?
Correct.
Actually,
that's tough.
Correct. Correct.
I've never been in that type of a relationship, so I couldn't even begin to break it down because I've experienced one-on-one somebody or even myself getting into somebody else and having to end things, and there's heartbreak there, right? You put your time, your energy into being with somebody only for things not to work out. And then, you got to do the repair for yourself and getting back to self. So imagine that on a level of multiple partners, and some people are just left to pick up the pieces.
Well, I guess actually now that I think about it, it probably does make it easier. You know what I'm saying? You got a bunch of different rocks to crawl under. You probably don't really think about that rock too much. That's actually
a lot of different rocks is crazy.
Yeah.
I just think I thought when I thought about it, and this I know this is it's a really controversial conversation we're having, and there's going to be people that are really going to hate what we're saying. But for me, this is going to sound so arrogant, but it's just my truth. But you can have one me or 10 of them. That's how I see it. Like the 10 of them, there's something about the 10 of them to me. You know what I mean? Like, me one, I'm work, mate. Like, I see myself as high quality, high level, got loads to offer. But I'm work. You have to invest in me. Like, I'm going to have to invest in whoever I get with who is of that caliber. Mm-hmm. So it's one of me or 10 of them. I don't see how somebody that is genuinely up there would want to be in a polygamous relationship. It don't make sense to me. You can't be up there and want to be one of 5. Personally, and I know, again, it's like controversial and I'm probably using the wrong term, but I'm a dominant female. I'm an alpha. I don't concede to other women. Like, you can't just come along and dominate me. So in a group, I've said it before, if I was in a polygamous relationship, I'd be horrible. I'd be bullying these girls, mate.
You be a madam.
Shut your mouth. You know what I mean? Shut your mouth and get out. You know, I'll be evicting them and all sorts. I'll be going on terrible because don't force. I think that forcing into competition. And I always look at it like, what would I want for my daughters? And if they came to me with this, it's one of those things that I would want to veto as a parent, where I'm like, no, bring the whole crew of them around here, and I'll talk you all out of it. You know what I mean? Because this is raw stupidness. So, you know, for me, it feels, and what off the back of what you've all said as well, it doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel natural to me. Like, if your sexuality, whatever that is, that feels natural to me. I understand transgender, that feels natural to me. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's natural. Like woman and woman, that's natural. Man and man, that's natural. If you're born that way, that's who you are. And I know people born that way, so there's no question to me. But polygamy for me doesn't feel natural. It feels like a construct that's been created, really, in truth, for misogyny. You know, you have harems and all that business back in the day. It's like, as a woman, I can't see any benefit for me in that whatsoever. Even if you're providing for me financially, I'd rather eat beans on toast than be one of five. You know.
Can I be a contrarian really quickly? I have, like, for those people that are probably gonna, you know, verbally bite your head off if they watch this. What advice would you give to the woman or a man who is comfortable in that type of relationship, who is comfortable sharing their partners, and who says, at the very least, and believes in their hearts that they are 100% confident in, say, having 3 or 4 partners? What advice would you give to them? Would you be able to give them advice at all?
No. Like I said, with my daughters, I just veto it. Like, stop that foolishness. Don't bring that around this. You know, I might even ostracize them and put them out into the wind. No, I wouldn't. I'd never do that to my children. But I think it's a way. If you're in that zone, if that's your reality, I've got nothing for you. Go on, Cynthonia. You might have some wise words.
Okay.
No, but exactly that, because what I was gonna say is, you know, a lot of times people try to force people to adapt their views and their beliefs on something, and it sometimes pushes them in the wrong direction or causes them to formulate an opinion or a feeling towards you that's unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand for your daughters, it's a different level, it's a different playing field. You have different, you know what I'm saying, rights, but to, like, speaking to the people, I think everybody has to experience, like, because we're speaking on all the things that may happen from it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody catching feelings and somebody else not having those same feelings. Somebody going off, venturing off and having a whole family and, you know, lying and, you know what I'm saying? Like, so many different things. You may catch whatever you may catch, you know, playing softball, whatever. All those things, they already know these things, but they already have it hardwired in their mind that this is for them. It works for them. They're having fun. Whatever the situation is, I feel like they're entitled to live their life and make their mistakes. And maybe they might not have no mistakes. They might have the perfect polygamous relationship, whatever. Might just grow out of it. Let them. My advice is just be careful. Be careful and pay attention to the signs and pay attention to yourself. If you feel anything within yourself changing, go with that. You know what I'm saying? But pay attention to yourself and make sure that you're feeling the vibes around you. Live your life, man. For real, that's what I got.
You got any advice, Emmanuel?
I don't know if it's so much advice as just recognizing throughout history, because Kemet was brought up And then in biblical times, it's talked about Solomon and him having many wives. There was a woman that was brought up in ancient times as well. I think she was from Kemet as well. She was, if maybe with the first woman pharaoh, and she had many husbands. So natural is what I'm thinking about, because you brought it up in the context of the other relationship dynamics, right? And I think it's just if it's natural to you and you're practicing in a way that's beneficial to the whole, that's what's good for you and serves your higher purpose of being here. But I couldn't really think of any advice.
It's perfect. That's perfect, because it is like, you know, it's a polarizing subject. And, you know, like for myself, you see the animation in me, just because it is something that I have a very clear view on for myself. And it's not that I've been in a situation before where somebody's wanted to do that, and I sort of agreed to it. Nothing went further, but the only reason I agreed to it in truth was that I was like, you're not enough. So I need to know I got a way out later on. If I've got enough, I don't need a way out later on. I don't need an open relationship or polyamory, or I'm only agreeing because I know you're 70%, which is why that knowledge of self is I'm good by myself, or it's 100%. It's the total package. That was good. I enjoyed that conversation.
Yeah,
So,
was a good one.
it was. What have you learned from observing others or from your own experience, or what advice would you give on relationships?
Say that one more time.
Yeah, go for it, Gabriel.
Oh, I was saying say that one more time. That was the question.
Oh, what advice would you give, or what have you learned on relationships?
All right, I would really say, I'm young, so it's not like I've had a whole lot to deal with relationships, but true actuality, just be yourself. Listen to your gut, your intuition. It's never wrong. It's really never wrong. It's hard to follow it. Uh, yeah, really just really be yourself. If somebody really can't accept you for who you want to be or who you see you to be, then honestly sit down and see if they either willing to, compromise, I guess, or just willing to grow. And if not, then no hard feelings, but don't stay in a place that you are made to feel like you can't be you, in a sense, because that's not you. It's somebody else's identity of you. It's going to take you out of you doing stuff for you to do somebody else's life. And it pulls you out your purpose. It pulls you out of just feeling sane in a way. Because then you start to live a false reality with false ideas. And then you start to lie. And then you start to bad habits. It's a cycle. It's a cycle of unauthenticity. And that is toxic. It's death. You know what I'm saying? If you're not following what you're supposed to be following, it's death. That's all that is. Yeah.
Thank you, Gabriel.
I just want to say what Gabe said.
In a nutshell. Thank you.
Yeah. Definitely honesty. Having clear communication is very important. But above all, I think how you start is how you finish. So if you go into it being honest and authentically you, whatever happens in it, you'll be able to work through it. So just be honest for sure.
Brilliant. Thank you, Adriana.
Um, uh, uh, something else that I wrote a long time ago comes to mind. One of the lines was, "If you can't love yourself, how can you love a man or a woman or your seed? Give your soul room to breathe, prosper, trade them wants and for your needs." I think that pretty much sums up my opinions of this entire situation. Like honestly, if you can't truly look yourself in the mirror and say, "I absolutely love you," you know what I mean? How can you possibly find it in yourself to say that to another person? Because you're missing parts of yourself. If you're missing parts of yourself, then you don't know what parts of yourself to give to that other person. Cherish yourself enough to get to know yourself and then share that space with someone else. And then once you do, take your time with that person, have patience with that person, be able and open to understanding that as human beings, we evolve. So, no, we may not be the same person we were last year or even last week. And honor that relationship if you choose to be in one. If you do not want to be in a relationship, if you want multiple partners, or if you see something lacking in one person and try to find it in another, then you're not ready for a relationship.
I'm sorry.
Bring back.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. But you feel so you can't love somebody if like you have to love yourself 100% in order to love somebody else. Like you can't love all that you know of yourself. Or you can't love 80% of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And love this in a person or love a person for this. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think you, I think you can, but the issue is in these days, and I'm speaking for right now in the time that we live in, people don't have that patience anymore as the others, as there's always one partner that's willing to develop in that love, and then the other person isn't willing to do the same thing. That's the problem.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But at the end of the day, I think that is why, I'm not, it took a minute to get to a place of full self love. Obviously, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of work. But that's if both parties are willing to do that work. And in my opinion, personally, it's easier to do that work with yourself first and have that foundation. So at the very least, even if that other person is, say, at 80%, you know what you can offer to them to help them get to their 100%.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people who are not willing to do that work, which is why I'm like, if you can't love yourself, how can you love another?
I see what you're saying. Like, so you have to love yourself to the point that somebody else, like, their love doesn't affect you in the end. Is that what you mean? Like in that sense, like love yourself enough. Like somebody can't come in and break you down or whatever,
Right.
or change you.
I mean, yeah, a relationship, if it ends, it hurts. Obviously, it's gonna hurt. Heartbreak hurts. But people are literally broken by relationships because they started that relationship without fully loving themselves. They put a lot of their self-love in the stock of somebody else.
I
I
got
come from, you know what I'm saying? I come from parents who did that, and they
yeah,
were broken and made a lot of reckless decisions because of that in their youth. You know what I mean? And coming from that background and learning from that is why I was like, after a certain point, like I told y'all before I read my piece, I'm just going to pause and stop dating all these losers and let me figure out how much of a winner I am before I jump back into this, because I'm tired of being treated this way or seeing this dynamic or experiencing this type of individual. So until I'm able to establish what the energy needs to be for me, let me figure that out. Now that's just me. There are other people again who are very capable of operating at 60% in a relationship. But I also believe that's why 60% of relationships end up in divorce or separation, and a lot of kids end up in broken homes.
mic drop, mic drop. I feel you.
yeah, I agree on that part because it's like if you don't really know yourself, like I would say above
like maybe 60%. There's a lot of stuff you don't even know about you, like that's get passed from your family, whether it's traumas, whether it's, bad habits, things of that nature. And now you living with somebody that is learning you and you're learning you. Now, what if all these start bad habits just start popping up for you to, cleanse and cure and all that, and they can't handle it? Now it's getting onto them. Now it's breaking them. Now it changed their perspective on relationships and all these things. So now you're just like giving baggage out. You're changing people. You're breaking people just because you didn't know you, in a sense. And personally, I can say I'm kind of dealing with that because it's like, you don't know about all your family demons and stuff like that when you're young. It's blinded to you. Then you start getting older and stuff starts popping up everywhere, and it's like, I didn't even know this stuff about myself. Like, and then now you want to date, and it's like you want to love from a love that you've seen, but it's not like a 100% genuine love that to give. You just giving something that has been given to you rather than something that has been manifested, and that's how you want to give it. Now you're giving this perception, and you can't handle the perception because it's like, I don't even know how to handle like the love. Like, I don't have love for myself to give you. I don't have love to give to myself, but I'm trying to give you a love type stuff. And it's like now it's broken. Now I'm, trying to lie and trying to keep up this mannerism that I don't even know how to maintain because I ain't maintained myself, in a sense.
Yo, boom. All right, y'all dropping them. Y'all dropping them. Boom, 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 boom. All right.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
100% self-love is the way I look at that is loving yourself the way that you would see God loving you. And I think the easiest way I can express that is the love I have for my children, because there's nothing going to stop me loving them. There's nothing they could ever do or ever say to stop me loving them. And I might say to them, I don't like this, but I'm always going to love them. And it's like, do you do that to yourself? Do you love yourself? That's what has helped me on my self-love journey is, do I love me the way I love them? Because the way I will go to war for them, the way I'm going to put that wall up around and say, you do not enter for them, do I do that for me? And it was really, that's a big part of what cracked me open, was realizing how I fight for others isn't how I fight for myself. I don't stand up for myself the way I stand up for other people. So that was really that's the self-love that I hear, or that I try to give myself, is, do I love myself like God loves me? Do I love myself like I love my children? And I think what I've learned in terms of relationships, the successful relationships that I've seen, which aren't many because you got to go all the way to the end, the ones that are 50, 60 years, I've got older relatives where mom was telling me about how they got together, and they were together for like 60 years, and the husband recently passed away, and mom was like, he would do anything for her, anything, and he used to put the petrol in her car and de-ice her, everything for her. But what I read in it was they had compatible love languages. She liked that and he liked that, so that's why it worked. And I think, if it goes back to the golden rule that we did last time, and I Manuel breaking down the platinum rule, do unto others at how they would want to be done to. So for me, it is about, I've seen people change drastically from their character being in a relationship that ended and getting with someone else. If you're incompatible, you can see people slowly just dying. It can all look all glistening on the outside, but they don't match each other in terms of what each other's needs and wants are. But as soon as you put two people together that are compatible, all this kind of stuff about what you should want, and this man wants this and woman wants this, don't mean nothing. I'm not a feminist. I've seen women that just love to do all that stuff for their man, and their man loves to receive it all. So they're compatible because they're speaking each other's love language. She likes to do it for him. He likes to go, oh, you're the best. Happy people. This stuff about, you shouldn't do, just be compatible. speak each other's love language, meet each other's love language. If you can get that, you can go all the way through. That's what I've learned. And that's the end of today, I think. Is there any final comments or contributions?
I just want to say I love all you guys. Love having these conversations. It's always a blast, I love putting like minds together and just, sharing thoughts, You learn a lot about each other and a lot about yourself when you start conversating. I'm always thankful for this space. And yeah, my peace.
I'm grateful that you're here as well, brother, because it's been a minute where I was the only one on the cast that was, of the masculine, but I got a lot of love for everybody here as well.
Such a blessed group, and it's growth, always growth. So, Adriana, you're on mic. Did you want to say something?
Oh, I mean, I echo everybody else's sentiments, man. It's a great space to be in. It's great to share different opinions and similar opinions, and it's nice to see that in real time that we as Black folks are not a monolith, and we are clear examples of that. Clear examples of different levels of intelligence from different generations and different levels of opinions. But at the end of the day, we're all brilliant in our own right. So it's definitely a blessing for sure.
Absolutely. What a beautiful way to end.